because of the groin situation, where Sheldon Keefe gave an update on Mrazek after the game last night. He's going to be minimum 2 weeks. But with these groin injuries, as we know, they could linger and linger and linger. This could be an issue. This could, who knows how long? Maybe
your groin you can wake up one day and think my groin's getting better. Wake up the next day, it's worse than the day you pulled it.
Exactly.
That's how it goes with groins.
Exactly. So hoping for the best.
Don't tell me I don't know a groin.
Hopefully Mrazek is not it's not that serious. And 2 weeks.
They haven't announced a timeline, really.
He said last night after the game, minimum 2 weeks. That's what he said. Minimum 2 weeks.
Okay. Because it was day to day or
no, he said after the game last night, minimum 2 weeks.
So due to salary cap restrictions.
So at the earliest, we're going to see him as 2 weeks. It could be longer than that, but he's for sure not going to be around for the next 2 weeks, Mrazek. So yeah, that's
due to salary cap restrictions, the Leafs cannot bring up Hutchinson. They do not have the cap space, so they have to sign a goalie from the University of Toronto. Am I correct? That's where he plays.
Yeah, Alex Bishop was
20 years old.
I don't know how old he is, but. Anyway, look, I just want to touch on this for a second. I just think this is fucking insane, man. In my personal opinion, this, to me, this makes the NHL look like a fucking joke. Can you think of another fucking league, another fucking professional sports league that would fucking pull fucking something like this? Hey, let's grab someone from the fucking local university to come in as our backup quarterback or our backup kicker.
Very well could have went in the game. I know, Campbell could have pulled his groin, and then all of a sudden you're stuck with this. You have NHL caliber goalies, third and fourth strings playing with the Marlies, but your salary cap says no.
Well, I don't even know if they I guess I just think it's a bad look on for the league. And I don't know as well, for a second, I mean, I thought, why don't they just call fucking Ralphie?
Wow. Why not?
He'd probably fucking just sign him to a 1-day contract. He'd sit on the bench, rocking darts, and fucking you're good to go. Imagine they just
have a little hole. He'd have a little hole in his mask.
Oh yeah,
to, rock the darts through.
Imagine they just fucking did. I started thinking, why didn't they just call Ralphie, get him down for one game? And
Jim Ralph, that would have been awesome. Hockey, a brutal game.
But honestly, I think it's ridiculous on the league. I think it's kind of ridiculous on the Leafs, where I get the cap and the flat cap, and it's going to be tough this year, but they could have called up Hutch and whatever, but they haven't. It got me thinking about the development of this team and not developing young guys. When's the last time? Okay, Ian Scott is not with the Marlies right now. He's injured. Joseph Wall, I don't know where the fuck this guy is. He's disappeared off the face of the earth unless he's injured too. These were two goalie prospects they had in the system that they were hoping that, maybe we're going to develop these guys to be our goalies. Not looking like that's going to be the case. When's the last time they developed their own fucking goalie?
It's been a long time. Probably
drafted by the team, played a significant amount of games for the team. It's James Reimer, right?
It's James Reimer for sure.
Before James Reimer,
when they had Justin Pogge and Tuukka Rask, you thought they were set. They fucked up. There. They fucked up. They traded the wrong one, but both were high prospects.
Before Reimer,
you can blame that. You can blame that on Toronto, but if you look around the league, man, goaltending is the hardest position to draft and develop. Most goaltenders are found later on through trades, through whatever. It's not, I don't know. It's a weird position.
Okay, fair. But if you look at recent winners, they usually are, well, I don't know. I guess the most two recent winners have drafted, you look at Tampa Bay, just staying on the goal.
Vasilevsky, Fleury, those were kind of can't miss picks with goalies. Outside of that, Carey Price, he was a can't miss pick. Outside of that, I don't know. You pick a goalie in the second round, he could look at Jack Campbell. He was picked in the first round.
Yeah, I know. I know.
It took him how long to become a starter?
I understand that, but I'm just saying, to me, it's
they should have won.
Look, since in the last 30 years, since 1990, we're talking. I can only think of two guys that were drafted by the team that played a significant amount of games for the team: Felix Potvin and James Reimer. I can't think of a single other goalie in the last 30 years that the Leafs have drafted that it's fucking played for them.
But they also were terrible at drafting for a decade.
And dude, quickly,
a decade.
And same goes for defense. Like in that 30-year span from 1990, when they were good in the early 90s, they were good in the late 90s, the early 2000s, and now fucking we think they're good, but we don't really know. We are hoping that they're going to be. But like defense, how many? Okay, Sandin and Dermott. Maybe we'll see what's up with these guys. I think Sandin's going to be player.
Morgan
Riley, Caberlet are the only two other guys I can think of too on the back end that they drafted and have played a significant amount of games for the team. Two defensemen and two goalies, unless I'm missing people, and I might be, but I don't think that I am. I'm talking a significant impact here.
I know what you're saying. There's probably a lot of guys they drafted that played a small chunk of games for the organization, but you're talking about
I'm not talking
standout players.
I'm not talking a cup of coffee. I'm talking like I can't think of anybody other than the two goalies I named and Riley and Caberlet on the back end. That's a mind fuck in 30 years, Chad. 30 years.
Yeah, that is crazy. That is crazy. And I don't know. Hopefully drafting and developing takes so long to see. And really since Shanahan came in and they sort of tore the team down, they really didn't start drafting and developing until then. So that was 2015 when they got like Austin Matthews.
Fucking crazy.
So they've just started now, but we should see some of that. And we kind of have with Rasmus Sandin coming in and Timothy Liljegren played last night.
Well, all their high, look at how many forwards, like all their high draft picks.
But you think over a 30-year span, you would have saw a few of those. A few other Sandins along the way.
You would think.
They did have Kenny Johnson, and he was a good defenseman, but they traded him for Wendell Clark. Right. But they drafted him, and he played a couple years with the Leafs, and he was solid, man.
Yeah,
they had to go out and get Wendell Clark.
So anyway,
I know what you're saying, but we digress. And you are right; it is a total embarrassment on the National Hockey League. You wouldn't watch the NFL, and the backup quarterback gets hurt, and they don't have an NFL quality quarterback to fill that role.
No, they call someone from the local fucking high school. Come on up, kid.
Come on up. What's on you doing one-day contract? You're right. Only the NHL does shit like
anyway, that. I'm sure it was a hell of a night for Alex Bishop. That's pretty incredible. And
yeah, good on him. It was fun.
He said they let him go out and speak to the media after the game last night. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He said that he was one game away or one day away from being, it would have been him instead of David Ayres in that Zamboni debacle against Carolina. He said they used to rotate like on a daily basis. Like one guy would go, one guy would go, one guy would go. It wasn't the same goalie all the time. And the next day it was his day to go. So he missed that game by like one game. That would be something that would piss you off, eh?
Yeah, David Ayres got to go. He like went on a whirlwind tour.
I know.
He was on like Ellen and shit talking about that.
Crazy. But anyway,
Hutch
is coming though, so don't worry.
Hey everyone, Chad here from the Tip and Maple Leafs podcast. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, check out some of our other videos. And if you like those ones, well, why don't you take the like button and give it a little tip? Maybe hit the subscribe button, give it a little tip. And then if you want to listen to the audio version, well, just check out the link in the description below and you can find our podcast in all platforms. You can check out our social media. And if you like those, give them a little tip or the tip in.